All right, I'm just going to voice over this because I felt like I mumbled a bit during the recording, and it's me playing fire, which is kind of atypical, so it feels like a good thing to just talk for 30 straight minutes, I suppose. This tank pulled like we were in the MDI. You're not really going to notice at the start, but once we get towards the Ardenweald ring, it is insane. Um, Absolutely ridiculous. The main reason I decided to play fire here is because there's two survival hunters. There's two survival hunters in this key. Like, what am I gonna do as Frost? Nothing. I'm not gonna do anything as Frost. Um, so yeah, I'm playing SKB because that's just the better thing, especially for Tyrannical to play. And there's nothing really to say about the rotation. I don't think I fucked it up really in this key, so looks pretty good. This is the new meta route as well, where you just take woe to the Hakkar. I have no idea what that other Spiral Hunter did. Thank God they had no DPS though, because it let me actually do damage. It looks like they were struggling a little bit with the rotation. I imagine they probably played Spiral Hunter before because they weren't prioritizing Carve enough. And they probably weren't prioritizing Kill Command either. But yeah, back to talking about fire. So my fire gear is not that good. I think this was before I recrafted a Unity as Haste Verse on my helmet. And also you can see I only have a 262 IQD and I'm running Ooze as well. I definitely should have swapped to running Changeling here just to have a stat stick that's really, really strong for fire in AoE. So I think IQD is a fine trinket. So I might be fine running that instead of First Sigil. I don't actually have a 278 First Sigil, but I don't know if I'd want to run it either if I had it. I did have a lot of fun playing fire in this key, so I probably will play some more fire keys. I do end up doing, I don't know if I mentioned this, I do end up doing 21k overall, which for a pug is pretty decent, I'd say. It's nothing too crazy. I did that last season after all, but that wasn't a pug, and it was also on a spiteful week, so Tyrannical, definitely throws it down a little bit. I didn't actually notice that we insta-lusted, mainly because the fire thing. Here, let's see. Yep, I do the rune with my SKB. Mainly because Hunter's Lust doesn't, show up above your head, so it's hard to tell. Here I should have used my SKB earlier instead of, maybe not. Herb buff is, you don't want to waste that, so. Nothing really to say about the AoE rotation. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure when you use shifting power. You can see, I'm just saying with it up, so it might have been good to use it before this SKB, but I decided to use it during. And then I'm about to go into another combust with IQD, so. Yeah, I mean, this is Fire Mage gameplay, and I'm not getting PI'd. If you were getting PI'd, you wouldn't have dropped combust, so. And then you go into another SKB. It really is something. It looks like, it does look like the Survival Hunters are doing insane damage. I'm actually hard pumping this boss, and they are not doing that much damage to the boss. I end up doing maybe 800k more single target DPS than they did at the end of this pull, I believe. I might be exaggerating. I haven't looked at it recently. I'm kind of rewatching this with you guys. But yeah, so like I said, a lot of my fire gear isn't the best. Most of it's 262, and I don't have the first sigil. Voice crack. I don't have the first sigil and whatnot. So I'm really just waiting on Valor. I think in the next few weeks I can start using my Valor on upgrading fire gear. So yeah, so it looks like I did a lot worse DPS than the Hunters, but I think if I hover over it, it's going to be good. Okay. Yeah, no. So I only did 8k more single target damage than the top guy, but I did 200k more than the or 400k more than the second survival hunter. So here, I'm luckily able to carry my SKB into this. And I guess I was streaming this as well because you can see the, the things on the side. I let my Infernal Cascade fall off there. That's a bit of a problem. I really like this route. This route ends up going really well. So you definitely hold your rune for the next pack when you're doing an SKB burst into it. Here you're gonna see I have 7 stacks. I'm just gonna spam Scorch probably, or at least I would have. And the reason to do that is if you want to hold your SKB proc for, a couple seconds to ensure that you can use it at the start of the next pull. Hopefully I do. Hopefully I do the Flame Strike thing, which is just outside of combat, you use Flame Strike to extend it, but it's not that important. If you're hearing that and you're like, what is he talking about? It really doesn't matter. Unfortunate that my SKB is going to fall off here. So we are going to go into the next pull with no combust or anything. I believe, actually I'm not sure, I won't speak. I've done a lot of keys today, which I didn't stream because I was playing an alt, which to be honest, I'm probably gonna, I am probably going to upload one of my alt keys, though I do have quite a few mage keys to upload, and I think I'm gonna do quite a few more mage keys this week, because it is such a nice week for Mythic Plus, right? Okay, yeah. So here, what I'm going to do is combust here, and then I'm going to pull the other thing. Making sure we're trying to stay in our rune, and now we're going to do the SKB. There, that was unfortunate. I just fire blasted when I had when I already had a hot streak. Again, going into another combust really is kind of crazy. That's a smooth motion you can do if you don't have any fire blast charges. It's just cue your Phoenix Flames for right after the pyroblast, and then you'll just instantly get another instant pyroblast, right? Because your hard cast pyroblast would crit, and so would your Phoenix Flames. So not sure if I mentioned what my ult is, but it's a Ret Paladin, so it's definitely not hitting the numbers that Mage is, especially since it doesn't have any Mythic gear, but is certainly still looking good. I'm gonna try and greed to stand in this as long as possible, but you can see kind of because of that movement, I didn't end up getting enough hot streaks to actually use my SKB right off the bat. Here, we're going to kill Woe, kill these Risen Warlords, and then skip all the way to the boss. It's a very efficient route. You don't have to do any of the single target pulls or any of the pulls that really hurt you by, like, basically just the lubricators or the drill. I won't get this off, but it doesn't really matter because we're not gonna kill anything anytime soon, so my SKB proc would have gone to waste. Oh, I do apologize as well. My weak wars are gonna be overlapping my health frame and my target frame because I haven't fixed them for fire yet, because I haven't really played fire. This was my first fire key in quite a while, I think. As I can talk about the reasons why you want to play Fire. Fire is trending to be a bit more of a meta pick recently, probably because of Tyrannical, and when you're doing a key on Tyrannical and you have these people, right, that are survival hunters, Destro Warlocks that are gonna like one-shot the mobs, you really just don't get value out of Frost. So Fire gets that value and also brings strong single target damage. So unfortunately my Infernal Cascade will fall off here. I did start accidentally hardcasting Pyro quite a bit as well. This was a mistake, I think. I should have just held it and used it into Combust. Maybe not, however. Actually, we can't lust her, so yeah. Maybe it wasn't that bad of a mistake. I forgot to use my IQD. There, I failed my opener thing. I think that's the biggest mistake I made in this dungeon. So I did go back to having a Fire Blast macroed into my Combust, so it should be a lot smoother in the future. Again, there you see I'm going to, I use Scorch to just ensure I can keep my Infernal Cascade up. Fortunately, you know, that happens with SKB, but it's not going to cause me to not be able to use it. It does cause it to not be in Rune, though. Kind of sucks. I'd recommend either ice blocking or altering this at full HP. I chose ice block there because I had the purple thing on me. Very liable to die on a Tyrannical key there. Here, we are looking to carry an SKB Combust into my Combust, right? So we're going to do it with only one Fire Blast charged, but now we are in a 20-second combustion. That was really bad. I just let my Infernal Cascade fall off. Go back into refreshing your SKB. It's refreshing SKB is the same priority as using Phoenix Flames or Scorch inside Combust. We should have lusted here. Oh, yep, he does say to lust. Okay, that's fine. I do get an SKB into this. And then after this, I might save my Combust because she's almost dead. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I think I save my Combust, just do an SKB bust. Because we are going to do a very, very large pull right after this. I suppose it's not very large. It's like 6 targets. I don't know if my voice sounds weird because it is like, what am I recording this? 3 a.m. It is 3 a.m. So apologies. Here, you can see I have 7 stacks of this, so we're looking really good. Frost over that. And we are about to blast. Oh, yeah, that's annoying. So I get stunned like 2 or 3 times here in a 20-second combustion. Yep, he gets stunned again. Still doing top damage, even being stunned, so. Then we'll go into another SKB, if I notice. Yeah, we're gonna do a single target one. I get knocked up by the volcanic, because there's not much space to move here. That drill just moved, which I'm assuming the other people noticed as well. So we're just free to go. Actually, I think they all invis except me, because I saw it move, so. Yeah, they all invis. They hesitated, so maybe they didn't since they were in melee. There's my stats and everything. You can see I have a decent amount too much crit. I have far more crit than I want. Yeah, he's saying hyper pull, right? Because this thing's not going to pat back for quite a while. And so we do. We are going to pull literally everything on this platform, including the Enraged Spirit, into the urn, which is a bit crazy. I do have IQD, but I'm also the one triggering the urn, which is unfortunate. So I won't do as much damage as I could. I believe I trigger the urn at least. I think I'm just going to do it right off the bat so I can start combusting. You can see I'm trying to check like the ready check thing that Details has. For some reason mine wasn't working though. To see if anyone else was Night Fae to open it for me. Yeah. So I'm just beelining straight. I might kick the Shadow Core, save your tanks, you know. I didn't manage to get into another SKB. Bit unfortunate. We're gonna do the single target thing. I accidentally used Fire Blast before my SKB went off, so I didn't get the Infernal Cascade proc. But yeah, that's quite a crazy pull. And then on top of that, we got Woe. So now we have insane movement speed into the next section, which is really gonna, I mean, this looks like not much, but this is at least a 30-second increase in your time, if not more, to have Woe here. Yeah, see, I just said feels like I just did the MDI. So, quite the comedian. And he is going to pull 5 packs together, maybe? Yeah, I mean, just a bit crazy. We got Fireball here. Yeah, okay, he's pulling, this has got to be like 8 packs, honestly. Hopefully I noticed, yep, I noticed now that I have to use my rune again. Okay, go into an SKB. Now I'm just kind of in maintenance mode, right? Hopefully I block. Yeah, I do. Right. I don't know how we lived rolling that many bursting snacks, since I think I'm the only one that immune, but our healer's a god somehow, I suppose. Alright. Ideally, I would have saved this SKB, and I think that's why I decide here is I'm going to save the SKB to use with my combust. And I'm going to overwrite my rune because yep, see? When I did that rune, I didn't realize I had combust. I just wasn't paying attention. Types of things that you'll get for not playing a spec very often. A little bit more uncomfortable with their cooldown timings and whatnot. Or you're blind. That too. Both are a justifiable reason for why that just happened. Unfortunately, my Phoenix Flames went into a dead person, so I'm going to earn here for us. Luckily it gives off. But yeah, we are doing quite the large amount of pulls. Gonna rune with my SKB because that's how you want to play SKB fire. You save your rune for SKB. And then we're gonna pull like mad as well, again, because this guy hasn't heard the word stop in his life. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Probably should have saved that. I just blinked in place. Yeah. Did I just fireball? I'm not gonna rewind to see if I did, but a large part of the reason why I'm going to end up doing so much damage is just because he's standing inside, or he's just staying still, right? So you can see my flame patch is just taking an insane amount, because I'm like, I think I have 36% base haste, which is enough. You get maybe 5 ticks per flame patch or something. I don't know. There's some breakpoint for flame patch where you get an extra tick at, I think, 33% haste. There, I just wanted to save my combust for this pull. Now I will have my SKB combust as well. So I'm going to use that here. A little bit farther ahead. Unfortunately, I start hard casting because the thing I was targeting died, which made it a little awkward. He is running a lot, which is kind of annoying. Makes it hard to keep up with my rune, but there I should have held my SKB, and what I mean by that is I should have left it at the 30-second one and kept the hot streak. Hopefully I get it off here. It does look like I will be able to, though. This is one of the reasons why it's harder to play it in lower keys, right, where you're not chain pulling as quickly, because that's something the SKB really needs. I shot a couple Pyroblast into Ur just to make sure we killed it, because I do really want to kill Ur, of course. Now I'll get an SKB into a combust. I shouldn't have used that. I should have scorched. I also shouldn't have used that Fire Blast, but we're fine. Here, I want to combust because we're in Ur, but I can't because of that. I should have done a Scorch Combust instead of Fireball to get more benefit out of the Ur for a couple more seconds. That Pyroblast was fine. It was still in Rune. Pyroblast is snapshot when you cast it. So as long as when you cast it, you have Rune left, you're totally fine. As opposed to Frost, where most of their spells are calculated on hit. I should have alter timed here to ensure that I get my SKB off. Looks like I do still get it off. Here, I think I'm using Phoenix Flames a little much for my SKB, especially when I'm close to Combust. But with 4-set, it really is, really doesn't matter. Here I alter to come back down. I cast Rune. I really needed to cast Fire Blast to refresh my Infernal Cascade. Instead I let fall, which is pretty bad. Again, I let fall again here. So I'm making quite a large amount of mistakes as well, especially in single target. It's harder to make mistakes in AoE as fire. There I stood off to the side to bait that. I should have held that SKB for Rune though. But maybe not, because he did end up dying, right as my SKB ended. So did a decent amount of damage. We're just going into the last boss. We have 20 minutes left. Standard for DoS, you know. I believe we won phase actually as well, because we are all quite strong burst classes. Could be wrong though. I mean, actually, we're probably going to 2-phase because this is a tyrannical 22. So generally, people start going for the 2-phase always. Like once you get at 20 or above, I'd say on tyrannical. But I'm not quite sure. But yeah, fire was quite fun. Didn't manage to beat the you know, upper level survival hunter at all, but I don't know if I can really be mad about that. I got as close as I could, I think, given the circumstances. If I had better gear, I do think I could have done at least 2k overall more, potentially. You're totally fine to combust on pole with kindling. Fortunately, I'm not going to sustain my Infernal Cascade. I wasn't going to cancel my SKB there, so either he died or I died. Yeah. Here's the unfortunate, because I do want to Rune of Power SKB, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do here since... Okay, so I am going to do that. I should be able to get it off because it's only 6 seconds. Alright, we are 2-phasing. Okay. I believe I combust this. No, apparently not. I guess I'm going into it with an SKB with Rune as well from so this is surprisingly greedy. I don't know why I didn't Rune here. Not runing is even more greedy because just okay. Never mind. I guess I looked at the HP because I wasn't looking at it right now, and that thing died very quickly. But now I'll have everything for this combust, right? I can combust, I can pot, though I have no idea if I will, and I can Rune with the SKB after that. Alright, I do pot, lovely. This does get a little weird with this much haste. I can't do a Scorch Power Blast anymore. We're just going to alter there to go back into the, you know, increased haste field. I'm fairly certain I want to save this SKB for my combust. And I want to... Yep, okay. Should be good. Yep, we managed to get that off. Looking strong. Large amounts of boss damage at the moment. I do waste a little bit of it, but I have another SKB here. I managed to sustain my Infernal Cascade as well. This is like the picture perfect scenario, I would say. Yeah, I think I played this boss pretty well. I'm wearing Ooze, which doesn't really work great on this because the Oozes don't really follow you. It's unfortunate that I'm not near the boss platform. If I was, I could get this SKB off, but I won't be able to now. So that is the one misplay. Too much haste, so it's hard not to hard cast. Blink over here to Rune because it just went over here, so I know I'm guaranteed to be able to get it off. I wouldn't be surprised if I blink out of this at the last second, yeah. or I just walk out and we kill it. There you have it. 21k overall DPS as a fire mage. That was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So I'm definitely going to do some more fire keys in the future. There's my breakdown. You can see my ooze only did 2% of my damage, so it definitely wasn't worth to run in this dungeon, though it did help my niche of being there to help carry the single target a little bit. That was very useful. Anyway, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments below. I said comments twice in a row, but yeah. All right. Have a great weekend.